Hey guys and girls, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have a Jazz Master on the bench today. You might recognize this guitar. We did some upgrades. I don't know why he didn't do it all at once because we had all the strings off and pretty much everything apart. But we're putting some Seymour Duncans in it today. Really nice Antiquity 2 Seymour Duncans to replace the P90 style pickups that are in there. So let's get to work. Let's see where this leads us. Remember, as always, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe. So yeah, we put in a bridge and saddle assembly and a new tremolo system on this guitar once before. Pretty cool. We're putting some new gear in this guitar again. I gotta say, it's a really interesting instrument, and I'm not a fan of these per se, but I like what he is doing with this one. He is putting all the right stuff in it. That was a huge upgrade to begin with. Why are they giving me rusty ass bolts with this? They're literally rusty, crusty. Look at that. Look at how rusty those bolts are. Those screws that go in there. Yeah, that's a fail. We're not using those. Now we better inspect everything. Indeed, are they kind enough to say neck, or somebody scribbled on this one? There is no JMB 847K. Am I missing something? Usually it will say neck or bridge. Or sometimes only one of them will say something. JMB, I'm going to assume that's bridge, but you know what happens when you assume. Makes an ass of you and me. I gotta dig the little tobacco bags that they give you the pickups in. JMN. So this is the neck, and that's the bridge. Pretty cool. Let's de-string. We'll get to that stuff later. We got to de-string, get this stuff off, and get under there and see what's going on. Stand by. Okay, it's always a big reveal moment when you pop off a control plate, and being that this is a Fender, the pick guard serves as the control plate, which I love usually, but you still have to be careful. Everything is there. You just unscrew it, you pop it off the guitar. Sometimes, like on this one, I had to push down the neck, the pickup cover, just to get it enough room to slide out from underneath the neck. No big deal. No big deal. So yeah, I'd love it when there's only two wires coming off of the pickup. And in this particular case, I only see one coming off of there. Let's get those out. 1, 2, 3 coming off of there. So they must attach together as a ground. Let's just see. So the spring must be underneath the cover because there is no spring on the screws, and I'm going to hope to be able to use those screws because the ones that came with the pickups are rusty, nasty looking critters. We'll see here in a minute. We will see in a minute. Cover comes off, reveals the pickup. I don't think we need to mark them. 2 leads. And it appears as though 3 leads on that one, but I don't think so. Pretty basic stuff. I think we're just going to unsolder, bing, bang, boom. And yeah, you would think that I've done this a million times, but no, not this exact configuration, but putting pickups in and out is usually the same process. It's just a matter of how many leads you have coming out of the unit. You follow? Some of them have 5. These only have 2. These are pretty basic pickups. Neck. These are pretty basic pickups. But I'll bet these are going to be a lot better than what's in there. Because, yeah, Seymour Duncan. Yeah, pretty cool. I like that they're cloth covered leads. That's so much easier to work with. Let me keep the sticker on that one. Let's get this guy out. Or should we do them one at a time? I don't know. I don't know. You got one lead going there. Oh yeah, it's the favorite Fender trick. That's why there's no springs. They just put a piece of foam under there. Yahtzee. I can't believe they're still doing that. Well, it is what it is. And we're going to, one lead goes to this control pot. It's not a control pot, a control switch. Let me put my googly eyes on and double check this. Yeah, basic enough. And then the ground goes to ground on the volume pot. Gotcha. All right, I'm going to pause quickly, get my solder iron up here, and let's put them in. Stand by. So I'm going to try to do this with the camera rolling. I hope my head isn't in the way too much. That's one lead. We should be able to put that right back in. This one's going to be a little trickier because I've got other wires that I do not want to burn. Turn my temperature up all the way. I hate taking wires off of pots. It requires an incredible amount of heat to transfer through. Sometimes I'll just cut them off. Come on, you. It's starting to melt, but it just doesn't transfer enough. I'm going to snip that one. I don't like applying all that heat. The weird thing is it won't necessarily melt the glob of solder that's on the back of that pot, but the heat is transferring through to the pot. So be careful. It's a little deceiving. Yeah. So sometimes it's best just to snip it off close and use the clean solder joint that's already in place to put our ground wire. You follow? That's that pickup out. Our neck pickup. Now let's put our new neck pickup in. I wonder. I'm going to go by the length of the wire on the other pickup, and Seymour Duncan is usually pretty good. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to snip anything off of there. I want to tin these ends. Get them them standing up here where I can tin them, and I also want to cover this side. Stand by, I need to get another solder rag. I do not have another one here. Be right back. Okay, so let's tin our 2 wires here. Always tin them before you go to use them. Let's get some temperature going here. Just like that. Off of there. Now, let's get it placed round about where it's going to go, which is through there. I'm going to put the yellow lead to there. The ground lead is going to go over to the back of the volume pot. And it was kind of snaked through there like so. Yahtzee. I'm going to do that one second. I'm going to get the one in here first. Definitely my head's going to jump in the way here because it's a very small terminal on this switch that I have to put that to. And just want to refer neck pickup, yellow, goes to the center tag. Yep, right where I took it off. I don't know why I was doubting myself. And all we're going to do is heat it up and let it push through the lug. Sorry, I'm going to be in the way for a second. That looks pretty good. The only problem is it went too far through and touched the lug in front of it. So snip it off. There was enough good solder left in that lug right there that all I had to do was heat it up and put my tinned wire into it. So that's that one. Next, this one I'm cranking all the way up. As soon as it gets hot, which it is, my ground wire right here has got to go right there. I don't know, is that on here? Let's see how this goes. Perfectly. And of course, just check your joint. Make sure it's not loose or wonky at all before you move on to the next step. Now, before I get too far along, I'm going to test that one. Yahtzee. That's just my OCD kicking in as I go along. Before I get too far along, I always check. So, the first part of this little operation is complete. Yeah, these wires are going to go down into that cavity. Right, and that's going to look just like that. I love it when a plan comes together. 3, 4. Now, at this juncture, I'm going to just double check and make sure. I'm going to assume that these are the same length. Always. Never fails. That's what you have an extendo magnet for. Never fails. So, yeah, rusty ass screws. And that they appear to be the same length. They're damn close, and boy, I can't tell you how rusty. I don't know. Are they supposed to be relict, that they were pre-rusted? I don't know. I'm not on board with that. I'm not on board with that. I'm going to use the good screws that came out of it. What do you guys think? I've had about all the relicking I can take for one work cycle. Did a phenomenal job on a phenomenal guitar for a customer, I don't know, a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago. And yeah, there was green stuff all over the damn guitar. I mean, green stuff all over the pickup cover. It was a Les Paul. Green, gooey nastiness all over the pickup covers. So I said, screw that. I'm gonna go the extra mile and help him out. I'm gonna do this. And why wouldn't I? He got kind of irked at me that I took his relicking off, his green relicking. But be careful of how you throw that term relicking around. Okay, relicking is one thing. To relic a guitar, I get it. The only way I ever reliced any guitar I ever owned is I used it. I played 800 gigs on my Thunderbird. And trust me, it looks like it's got every single one of those gigs on it. But it still plays like $1 million. Be careful about that relicking term. Don't throw that around. Green, goo, and tarnish? No, not so good. We got that one in. It's working. I am going to pause briefly while I take this one apart and get ready to install it, just to save a little bit of video time so we can put the rest of the guitar back together. Stand by. Okay, so we have the bridge pickup hooked in. We did run into a little bit of a glitch. I have spoken to the customer. Antiquated. These pickups were probably from before this version of this guitar was released. There's a little bit more complex electronics in this guitar, namely two pickups with 2 wires each. The coil splitting function adds a 3rd wire that this system does not take into consideration. I followed their schematic and it did not work. We are going to lose some small functionality with the electronics in the guitar, but the customer seems cool with that. So we went ahead and wired it in. So just to test everything, so you know, yeah, we're rocking and ready to put it back together. We got a bridge and then switch it over. Middle position, both. Just the bridge, just the neck, and then both. And we do have some functionality as far as coil splitting, but not like it is meant to be. I think that, and remember at the beginning of the video, I found rusty screws in there. I think these have been sitting around for a little too long, and they haven't caught up with the technology of this is a modern guitar. So that being said, everything's going to be cool. We're going to cut the video off here because we're getting a little long. Part 2, we'll put the pickup ring back on. We'll get everything set back in there, string it up, and set it up. This thing's going to breathe new life again. It's Blackjack with 396 guitars. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll talk soon. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe.